to begin.
We're good. Okay, so I will call to order this meeting in the Township of Cavan of the Committee of Adjustments on Monday, June the 29th, 2020. It is 9:01. Like anybody who has any pecuniary interest to declare the nature of it. Anybody? Going once, going twice? Nope, seeing no pecuniary interests. Move on to the minutes of the Committee of Adjustment held on June 4th, 2020. Has everybody had a chance to review them, and would anybody like to make a motion to adopt those minutes?
I'll move to adopt.
All right, so moved by Michael, seconded by Aaron. Which brings us to reports. So Christina, report planning 2020-15 McKnight minor variance application MV 0320.
Thank you, Chairman Huntley. So I'm going to try sharing the screen so that we have the agenda and reports up. Good. So with the first report, planning 2020-15 for the McKnight minor variance application MV-03-20, the township received a written request from the applicant to withdraw this application. And so I had a discussion with the applicant this morning just to confirm that he knew all of the options available to him. And he understood them, and that he said there's no need to present the planning report. He is going to continue with the withdrawal of the application. So I don't think, if committee is satisfied, we need to review the planning report for that application.
Okay, so I guess, do we have to make a motion, Madam Clerk, or is it just withdrawal automatically?
Just for formality, let's just make a motion that you receive the withdrawal.
Okay. All right. Can I get somebody to make a motion that we've received a withdrawal?
Move that we received.
Seconded.
Michael and Aaron. Thank you. All right, Christine, report Huffman minor variance application MV 04-20.
Thank you, Chairman Huntley. So I'm just going to get that report up. Okay. So thank you, committee members, and those of you joining us on our online public meeting. This is the public meeting for minor variance application MV-04-20, and the committee has before them planning report number 2020-16. The application applies to lands located at 16 Houston Street, as shown on attachment number 1 to this report. The application was applied for by Janine Huffman. The application was received by the township on June 1st, 2020, and deemed complete on June 10th, 2020. The variance is required to permit the construction of a single detached dwelling, accessory basement apartment, and attached garage. The dwelling and attached garage footprint will be 1,789.9 square feet in size, and the driveway and walkway will occupy an area of 571.5 square feet. A site plan showing the proposed dwelling, attached garage, and parking spaces is provided as attachment number 2. The subject property is a vacant lot of record in the Millbrook urban settlement area. The lot was created by severance through Peterborough County Land Division file number B-113-16. The lot has 60 feet of frontage on Houston Street, has a depth of 128 feet, and a total lot area of 6,892.67 square feet. The subject property is zoned the Urban Residential 1 zone and is located within the Source Water Protection Area. The property is also located within the Oak Ridges Moraine and within an area identified as a Category 1 Landform Conservation Area. For lands within a Category 1 landform conservation area, the zoning bylaw requires that the net developable area of the site that is disturbed must not exceed 25% of the total site area. And the net developable area of the site that has impervious surfaces must not exceed 15% of the total site area. The total area of the subject property that will be developed and have impervious surfaces is proposed to be 2,361.39 square feet. The variance is required to increase the maximum amount of the net developable area of the site that is disturbed from 25% to 26%, and to increase the maximum amount of the net developable area of the site that has impervious surfaces from 15% to 35%. All other standard regulations of the urban residential 1 zone will apply to the subject property. Notice of the application was circulated by first-class prepaid mail to all assessed persons within 60 meters of the subject lands, to all required ministries and agencies, and to all township department directors. A sign was posted on the subject property, and the notice of public meeting was posted on the township website. The notice complies with the requirements of the Planning Act. Township staff have received 2 inquiries from the public wishing to understand the meaning of an impervious surface. Staff provided the public with a definition of impervious surface and a copy of the site plan showing the proposed dwelling. Both members of the public indicated their appreciation of the clarification and had no further concerns. Township staff had no objections to the application. The Otonabee Region Conservation Authority had no objection to the application, noting that the subject property is within an area that is subject to the policies contained in the Trent Source Protection Plan, and that the required notice under the Clean Water Act has been issued by the risk management official for the minor variance and the building permit. Orca staff concurred with the municipal staff that the nature of the variance is minor given the size of the urban residential lot. However, in order to ensure the consistency with the intent of the Oak Ridges Moraine policy requirements, Orca staff did recommend a condition that no further impervious surface beyond that recognized via this variance be considered in future applications. Township staff have not recommended imposing this as a condition since it could cause undue limitations on the landowner. Staff feels that should present or future owners of the property want to go beyond what this minor variance acknowledges, they would need to apply for another Planning Act application, and Orca would have the ability to comment on the proposal at that time. In this way, any future application can be evaluated on its own merits under the policy and regulatory framework of the day. Township staff discussed this with Orca staff, who indicated they were satisfied with the proposed approach. As presented to you today, Planning Report 2020-16 provides an analysis of the proposal and concludes the application satisfies Section 45 of the Planning Act, which outlines the 4 tests the application must have regard to in order for the committee to authorize a minor variance from the provisions of the bylaw. Report 2020-16 recommends that the Committee of Adjustment review and consider all verbal and written comments received regarding this application, and that the committee approve minor variance application MV-04-20 with no conditions. I'm not sure. I think the applicant, Janine Huffman, intends to be present today. Should there be any questions or comments relating to the application? And with that, I will turn the application back to Chairman Huntley for any questions from the committee and the public.
Right, thank you, Christine. So committee, do you have any questions or comments?
I don't have any
have-
questions.
I have a question. Number 14, on the one side of this property, I thought had a house on it. but this drawing shows vacant property on that side. When I drove by, it looked like there was 2 houses on each side of this subject property here.
You're correct. Yes,
Okay.
that's correct. There is a house located to the north of the subject property. It's a newer home, and there's also a house located to the south.
All right. One other question, is the applicant an adjacent owner? Or someone else other than one of the owners of the adjacent properties?
I believe the applicant is not an adjacent owner. They're the new owner of this property.
Right, and no objections from anyone on either side, I take it.
No, through you, Chairman Huntley. So the owner of 14 Houston Street was one of the people that did call. And they were quite satisfied to know that I think the main concern was the definition of impervious surface. And when I indicated that that includes the rooftop of the building, they realized that the whole property isn't going to be paved over. So they were satisfied.
I have no further questions, Chairman.
Sure. So anything, Aaron?
No questions.
Okay, I have a couple questions for you, Christine. First, with your definition of impervious surface, does the driveway count? And if they gravel it versus pave it, does that count for them or against them?
Yes, thank you. Through you, Chairman Huntley. So the driveway, so the definition of impervious surface is a surface that does not permit the infiltration of water, such as a rooftop, sidewalk, paved roadway, driveway, or parking lot. So while the applicant may not immediately propose to pave their driveway or the sidewalk or the walkway to the rear of the property, they could do so without requiring any permits from us. So we included that in the calculation. So it may be a gravel driveway right now, but anybody could pave it at any point in the future. So that's why it does increase the amount of impervious surface.
The follow-up question then, would you happen to have that calculation on hand of what the % of the property coverage is just with the house without the driveway?
Yeah, so I would have to do the calculation, but in the in this little box area here, so the proposed house and front porch footprint is 166.28 square meters, and then the driveway and walkway alone represents 53 square meters. I could attempt a percentage calculation if you would like that.
No, it's okay, but so the driveway represents about what, a third, it looks like?
Yeah, it's these 2 parking spaces essentially.
Okay, so the 35% that's just being proposed is kind of the worst case scenario if they pay.
That's correct, yes.
Okay, all right. I guess, sorry, the next question I had is, so there's no issue with the side boundaries and it being too close to either adjacent lot?
Yes, through you. So because it's in the urban residential 1, they do have reduced side yard setbacks, and the application as proposed meets those required setbacks. And in fact, the lot as a whole in the urban residential 1 would be allowed to have a maximum of 50% lot coverage, and this property is only going to represent about 26% lot coverage. So
And
it
it's
does
because
comply.
it's-
Yes.
Oh, sorry, Christine, I didn't mean to cut you off there. But
Yeah, no.
because it's in the Oak Ridges moraine, that's why the max coverage has been reduced.
Correct.
Okay, thank you. I don't have any further questions. So I guess I don't think there are any panelists, are there, clerk?
We do have one attendee. I believe it's the applicant. If she would like to add anything or speak, she could raise her hand and we could bring her and allow her to do that.
Sure. So at this point, I will open it up to the public to speak if they so choose. So if you are listening, please raise your hand if you choose to speak. If not, we'll continue. I say that, but I cannot see. Okay. So we'll proceed then. So how would the committee like to handle this application?
For application with no conditions.
Yeah. Are you moving it, Aaron?
What's that?
Yeah, sorry, I will move to approve the application.
I'll
Okay,
second it then.
all right. So all in favor?
Oh.
All right, so it is so moved. All right, so that's it. We look for a move to adjourn.
I'll move to adjourn.
Thank you, Michael.
I'll second that.
Aaron seconds it. All in favor? All right, thank you very much, everybody.
Thank
We are
you.
adjourned.